Today we're going to be talking about drapery. Several things intervene in us working on drapery, but there's one really important part that you must understand, and it is gravity. How gravity affects the cloth that we're going to be drawing. So I did this quick demo for you guys so you understand what we're going to be talking about. One, that we have 2 points of pressure on here, and one's higher than the other, and it creates a certain pulling and tension in these parts, and then anything that sags will eventually communicate with the other side. So it's really about rhythm and about the thickness of the cloth that you pick. So it's very simple: gravity and the type of cloth and how you set it up. So this seems to be the simplest way to explain that. And you can see the paper, I haven't stained it, but to make it easier for you, I'm now going to do a demo where I just stain the back of the paper, and now you have a middle tone to work with. So you only have to really work with light and dark and maybe another shade of gray, but it'll give you now a very rich sort of beginning, not just white, which is a little bit hard because when you have white against white, it becomes more a problem. So there are 4 things that you must understand. Okay, now before we start on the demo, I wanted to speak about 4 C's of drawing, which will help you throughout the whole semester. And this is very important now. So we're going to recapitulate a little bit, go over things I may have mentioned, but now we're going to put it all together. So it's just 4 things to remember, and they are right here. When we are about to draw, when we're drawing, we have to think about construction. And construction implies breaking things down into geometric shapes. Anything that you see, whether it be in drapery, or it be in still life or anything, you must be able to see the underlying form, which is what we call good construction through geometric shapes, through seeing the underlying common denominator. Second is contrast, which is what we call figure-ground relationship. Anything that you draw somehow casts a shadow and has a background that either makes it stand out or absorbs it. So you'll see that in Rembrandt, you'll see that in any contemporary artist. Rembrandt not being a contemporary artist, but being from the Renaissance, the Baroque period rather, you will see that that contrast. Whatever you want to stand out, the figure, it must be against some kind of background. So this is what we call, the stronger the background, the stronger the drawing, which creates immediate contrast, okay? So I generally will state something or an artist that deals with that. So in the first one, construction, that's a theory by Paul Cézanne. In the figure-ground relationship, you can see Boy with a Straw Hat by George Seurat. Now the third one is composition, which is simply a design concept of distribution of objects in space. So the more you occupy the space of your paper, the stronger or the bigger the scale, the more important it'll be. If you give more importance to the background, to the space surrounding the object, then that becomes more important and your figure becomes weaker. So that is, you can look at Georgia O'Keeffe and remember our viewfinder, how we view things through our vertical and horizontal axis and window, 4 windows, to be able to draw something. And the last one is color of value. Everything has value. Value is the gradation of light and dark. So we're going to be working with grays at this moment. So we ignore color right now and we use value. But if you take a photograph of what you're drawing and you just make that photograph then, which is in living color, you make that in black and white, there is an equivalent of the lights with and the highlights in color with grays, or grayscale, we call grayscale. So it's all the same. So that's why we call it color or value, okay? So, having said that, now we're going on to the demo. Here we are again. Now I'm going to show you how we are going to put a gray tone in the background so that you don't have to worry about a middle tone. So we get our black soft pastel, and we're just going to lightly put some powder on the surface of this paper. This is your regular drawing paper. And now I'm going to start. I use my nitrate glove. I'm going around in circles because if I go straight, I might have to leave a line, and that's what I don't want. You don't want it too dark. You want it to be just very light. So now I'm going to check to see how we're going, how we're doing. Tissue paper. Any of this excess powder that's left over is good to spread in all directions. And you could even do it with a little bit of pressure to try to even it all out. Wanted, to express some kind of emotion. It doesn't have to be flat, it doesn't have to be uniform. Over here you're seeing like a line there because there must be something in the paper underneath, a fold or something, but that's okay. Could use a paper towel, anything. I'm using a Kleenex, but and I do want to cover the whole thing more or less. And if I see some light areas, I'm just going to try to get rid of some very light areas. This paper is it's brilliantly white. It's very light. So that's another reason to be able to tone it down. I can even, if I want to take some off, I just go to a clean area and it'll start taking some off. You can see I'm doing swirls, circular motion. Okay, so you can see that that's not even, and that's how I like it. I don't want it to be, I want it to appear atmospheric. I don't want it to look like a backdrop or a curtain, a shower curtain, or anything like that. Just want it to have the impression of atmosphere. Okay, we're ready to start now our demonstration. And I'm going to start by mapping out the general drawing. What I call mapping, it's just seeing the shapes, trying to simplify them, and then at the end we will somehow round them out.